Good afternoon. Today we have with us the Venerable Master Hua and Dharma Master Heng Shi from the sagely city of 10,000 Buddhas in Talmadge, California. The Venerable Master Hua is going to talk with us briefly about the Chinese Chan meditation tradition and how to meditate. Dharma Master Heng Shi will translate for the Venerable Master Hua.
All of you good and wise advisors, all of my fellow classmates, Chan meditation is a part of Buddhism, and this part of Buddhism requires that you concentrate your mind. Concentrate to the point where you have no confusion left. Cultivate at that point. This is Chan meditation. Now the word Chan is half Sanskrit. It's a semi-Sanskritized word. The complete word is Channo in Chinese, which translates as cultivating one's thoughts, thought cultivation. Now thought or thinking, this requires that you do a little investigation. It works like a fire drill. The old technique of drilling wood to spin sparks and to start a fire. It's that kind of skill that we use, that kind of gong fu that we use when we investigate Chan. You could also compare it to a cat stalking a mouse outside the mouse hole. The cat, as it waits for the mouse to come out, is also very concentrated as it waits. Another analogy is like a mother hen sitting on her nest, waiting to hatch her eggs. She hopes to concentrate and bring the chicks out of the eggs. So sitting in meditation, investigating Chan, is just like this. The purpose of Chan is to get enlightened, to lighten up your mind, and to see your nature. The purpose of Chan is to break through your investigation until you understand its original source. We could also say that Chan is a lot like a dragon guarding his pearl. It's said that dragons cherish their pearls more than anything else, and they guard that pearl with undivided thoughts. So there's a saying that goes, when you can concentrate, then it's magic. When you're confused, then there's nothing at all. When your thoughts scatter, then there's nothing. Chan meditation requires that you have no second thoughts in your mind. You just bring that crazy mind to a rest. You put a stop to its endless wanderings. You gather in your body and your mind. When somebody is skillful with this investigation of Chan, then when they are sitting in meditation, then there is Chan going on. When they're walking, they're also investigating Chan. When they're standing still, they're also investigating Chan. When they're lying down, that's also the process of Chan meditation going on. Traditionally, in China, the method used was to look into what's called a huatou, the word head, your meditation topic. The one most often used is to ask yourself, who is reciting the Buddha's name? Sometimes they change it a bit and say, who is reciting the Buddha? Who is reciting the Buddha's name? Who is in there reciting the Buddha's name? Another common topic that people look into and investigate is, what was my original face? What was my original appearance before my father and mother were born? They look into that. Now this is called a huatou, literally in Chinese a word head. That's to say, you apply your skill, you investigate right at the point before the words come out. This is not the word tail. You don't look into it after language has come forth. You want to investigate right at the place before the first thought emerges. That's the place where you investigate, when you look into a huatou, when you investigate your meditation topic. So, who is reciting the Buddha's name? Who is in there reciting? Now, the purpose of investigating this huatou, this meditation topic, is to put an end to all discursive thinking, all polluted thinking. Now, it's true that who is mindful of the Buddha, who's reciting the Buddha's name, is also a false thought. This is also a discursive thought. But we use this one polluted thought to put an end to all other polluted thoughts. If we can solve this first problem, then all other problems are solved. We use one falseness to end all falseness whatsoever. But understand that this requires deep concentration. We have to concentrate to the exclusion of all other thoughts, then it can work. Now, even though our false thoughts before we begin to investigate are very many indeed, if we can concentrate our minds, then suddenly we can get enlightened. We penetrate right through. Then, at that point, there's not a single thing among all the myriad facets of reality that we don't completely understand. At that time, we attain an omniscience, all wisdom. We understand absolutely everything there is to know between heaven and earth. There's a phrase that describes it. It says, "Suddenly, one day, we penetrate right through." Now that's because the time we finally understand, when our investigation of this topic comes mature, then it's a very sudden awakening. This is what's known as sudden enlightenment. And at that point, we are enlightened. There's absolutely nothing that we don't understand at that point. We have the functioning of the entire substance of all of reality at that point. Now, at that point, our original wisdom flows forth very spontaneously. We have the working of great wisdom, so it's called the great functioning of the entire substance. The Buddha is simply a person who has the operation, who has control of his own great wisdom. That's what the Buddha is. So we want to attain the state of great wisdom, of omniscience. So what do? We investigate the Dharma door, the method of Chan meditation. Are the other methods good? Yes, they are. The Buddha taught 84,000 different kinds of meditation methods, different kinds of Dharma doors, they're called. And yet every single one of them is a road towards Buddhahood. Whichever method is appropriate to us, whichever one we like, that's the one that's right to use. You can't say that the others are all secondary. It depends on our own particular preference, which one we use. No matter which method we do adopt, however, we all require concentration. Every one of those methods means we need to concentrate our minds. Whether we investigate Chan, whether we follow the teaching school's principles, whether we recite the Buddha's name with the Pure Land Dharma door, whether we hold mantras and investigate the esoteric school, or whether we hold the moral rules and investigate the Vinaya, every one of these methods is just as good as the others. It depends on our preference. And each one of them requires concentrating to the ultimate point, to where there's not a single other discursive thought in our mind, other than the one meditation topic that we constantly focus on. We focus our concentration until the stove is white hot, until our fire is at a peak heat. Right at that point, it's said that when the mountains fall down and the waters dry up, and we fear that there's no further road ahead, just at that point, beyond the bright flowers, appear the lights of another village. That's the state that we want to reach and maintain. It's said that you climb to the top of the 100-foot pole and then take one more step. At that point, if you can do it, then everywhere within all the 10 directions of the compass, your Dharma body manifests.
坐禅这一法，你先要端然正坐，这个左腿压右腿，这样子结上双夹趺坐。这个双夹趺坐啊，又叫金刚坐，或成道就是坐着这个双夹趺坐而成道。所以俺们想要学佛法，想要成圣人，也都先把这个夹趺坐练习会做了它。咱们现在在万佛城啊，有的人这么一坐就可以坐14、15个钟头， 有的人呢能做12、13个钟头，有的人又能做8、9个钟头。当然有的人呢，最多做的半点钟，这触发心的人能这样做，那么就有你在这个心性上啊，自己就能有无量的功德。至于做的时候啊，随时随地在什么地方都可以做，也不一定啊专门要打坐时候要有垫子垫着啊，后边垫高一点，前边低一点，这随时随地呀都可以打坐，随时随地都在修行。你只要你做的端然正坐，这个眼观鼻，鼻观口，口问心，那么能把心置之一处，能置之一处，无事不办。这个一字啊，天得一清，地得一宁。人呢要得到一啊，就是圣人。所以嘛，你要修行，就要专一，要皈依啊。皈什么依呢？就一念不生。你能一念不生，就全体现。六根互动，就被云遮。你眼耳鼻舌身意一照到外景上了，那就等于这个万里晴空啊，生了乌云一样。你要是一念不生，你那个本有的大智慧就现出来了。
As for the method of sitting, we want to sit upright, to sit erect. We put our left leg on our right thigh and the right foot on top of the left thigh. This is known as the full lotus posture. It's also called the Vajra posture, the adamantine posture. When the Buddha accomplished the way, accomplished Buddhahood, this was the way he was sitting. It was this posture that aided him to accomplish the way. So if we cultivate, we want to have success in the Buddha Dharma, we want to become sages, the very first thing we need to do as we practice is to begin to meditate in this posture until we can do it, until we can sit without any problem in the full lotus posture. At the sagely city of 10,000 Buddhas, now there are those who, some people can sit 14 and 15 hours in this posture without dropping their legs. Others can sit 10 hours, 12 hours in this posture very comfortably. Some sit 8 to 9 hours at a stretch. Of course, there are others who can sit for 30 minutes only. These are the beginners among us. But everyone emphasizes and practices sitting in full lotus. When you can adopt this meditation posture, then your merit and your virtue are boundless and infinite. We should practice until we can sit in full lotus wherever we are at any time. It shouldn't be the case that we have to have a special cushion or a zafu or a sitting rug and only then can we meditate. It shouldn't be the case that we have to prop up in behind and have our knees in contact with the mat down below before we can begin to meditate. We should be so attached. It should be that at all times and anywhere we are still cultivating, we're still meditating. We want to take our eyes and contemplate our nose, let our nose contemplate our mouth, and let our mouth contemplate our mind, our heart. When we can concentrate to a single point, then there's nothing that we can't do. It's said that this single point is the important thing. When heaven attains the one, this single point, then heaven is pure. When earth attains the one, this single point, then the earth is very peaceful. When people attain this one, this single concentrated point, then people become sages. We at all times return to this one place, return to this single point. Now, in our minds, we want to meditate until we can reach a stage called not even a single thought coming forth. It's said that when not even one thought appears, then the entire body comes alive. The entire body manifests before us. The entire substance appears. However, as soon as one of our 6 organs moves, then we're covered by clouds. What's it like? As soon as our eyes, ears, nose, tongue, body, or mind, one of the 6 sense organs, suddenly moves, then it's just like a clear sky for 10,000 miles that suddenly is clouded over by dark thunderheads. It's the same result. So we want to cultivate, concentrate until not even a single thought arises. When not even one thought comes forth, then our basic wisdom can appear. No matter what method we select as our primary focus of meditation, we let that method be our primary Dharma door. Let this be our basis of cultivation. All our other habits and practices are supporting, they are subsidiary to that primary focus of our spiritual work. This is our most important cultivation method. The others simply support it. We need to bring all 10,000 conditions, as it said, the 10,000 variables together to a single point. Then our work can have success. Now, as an example, we may not, on one hand, meditate and expect any kind of success or good news, and on the other hand, go ahead and drink as we please, smoke cigarettes, eat meat, indulge in promiscuous behavior. We can't do that. At the same time, expect to have any luck with our meditation. It's not the case that we can say, well, I think I'll wait a bit, I'll just have a couple more for the road and maybe smoke a few more cigarettes or have another hamburger or go indulge in more sexual behavior, and then when that's done, when I'm satisfied, then come meditate, and that I expect anything will happen. It won't. You won't have any success. All other activities have to fall in line behind our meditation if we want to have success. Everything we do must accord with the precepts. What we need to do is understand the principle of do no evil whatsoever and reverently offer up all good behavior, do all good deeds. Then we can expect to have some success with our meditation. It cannot be the case that when we sit and meditate, we put on the style and we look like a regular pro. But then as soon as we stand up from our meditation, we let everything go slack and we fall back into our old habits. That won't work. We have to guard our mind all the time. We have to keep our mind from indulging in reckless thinking, in casual, random discursive thoughts. Just don't let them enter into our mind. Then we can get some good news. When we meditate, we have to support that time of meditation with our deportment at all other times. Walking, standing, sitting, and lying down all become part of our meditation. All support and aid that time when we're actually meditating. It can't be the case that on the pillow, on the meditation cushion, we look like a regular cultivator, but then as soon as the period is over, we stand up and then do as we please. We just drink and carry on and have a great time. We let our guard down and relax. That won't work. We simply won't. Our meditation will not come to success. We have to be serious about it. So Confucius, when he outlined the eightfold requirements, the eightfold formula for cultivation, he said, number 1 is to cut off material desire. We have to put an end to our greed for things. Number 1 is we have to stop all thoughts of greed for wealth. We have to put an end to all thoughts of greed for beautiful forms, of wanting to have a very pleasant love life. If we can put that down, we can expect our meditation life will open up. We have to put an end to all thoughts of becoming famous. We have to stop that kind of polluted thinking if we expect to get anywhere with our Chan meditation. We have to put down all desire for good food, for delicious flavor. Then we can have success. We have to put an end to all thoughts of luxurious sleeping habits, of having a good night's sleep, because this, if we don't do it, will obstruct our meditation. When these 5 desires, wealth, sex, fame, food, and sleep, come to an end, and we don't entertain those, what are called the 5 roots of the hells, in our mind, then our meditation will really take off. If instead, however, we're simply as greedy as before for money, for sex, for fame, for food, and for sleep, if we like really good food and we get turned by delicious flavors, then our meditation won't respond. We won't get a response with our meditation. If we sleep to an excess and we're always craving a few more hours, then no matter how hard we meditate, there won't be any success. To sum it all up, the main support for our meditation is in the phrase, do no evil, but offer up all your good conduct, do all good deeds. Now, everybody knows what that means intuitively. We don't even have to ask, but how many of us can do it? Do no evil and offer up all good deeds. To have thoughts in our minds of doing evil deeds, this already is to entertain the evil. For instance, if in my mind I'm considering the possibility of going and killing someone, we just say drop dead, and we have those thoughts in our mind, we can't expect our chan will work. Our meditation won't lead us where we want to go. If we have thoughts in our minds of cheating others, then likewise our meditation will come to nothing. If we have thoughts of making a lot of money, if we're preoccupied with getting wealthy, then our meditation won't work. So, meditation simply means cultivating our mind so that we don't have any more confused thinking and polluted thoughts in our minds. Then at that point, when our skill comes mature, we can get enlightened. We can break through this investigation. Again, to repeat, it cannot be the case that when we meditate, we sit just like a rock, but we look just like a real meditator. But then later, once we leave the meditation hall, our lifestyle is just like a hedonist. We live like playboys. It won't work. Our meditation won't succeed then. For instance, there's a Korean who calls himself the Mad Monk, and he lives a completely debauched lifestyle. He does absolutely everything he wants to, regardless of the rules, and yet he considers himself enlightened. This kind of behavior is something that we must absolutely avoid. This is not the behavior of an enlightened person. He only admits himself that he's enlightened. If we imitate models like that, then we can't expect our meditation will carry us where we want to go. Furthermore, when we sit in Chan meditation, we have to rid our mind of all thoughts of contention and fighting. We can't entertain any thoughts of greed in our minds. We have to resolutely get rid of all thoughts of seeking outside ourselves. We have to put an end to all selfishness, to all thoughts of taking advantage, and finally to all dishonest thoughts. All of these thoughts we have to resolutely purge from our minds, sweep them clean. Furthermore, we can't in our minds meditate with the hope of attaining psychic powers or some miraculous state. We can't hope to meditate to the point where we understand the workings of secret mantras and secret initiations and empowerments, ideas like this. If we meditate with the wish to open up these unique and miraculous powers in our minds, then we're sure to go down a wrong road. If we dwell upon secret transmissions and hope to use personal mantras to attain a kind of a psychic penetration or a psychic power, then it's a very dangerous practice. These are all doors of meditation that are practiced by heretical sects that do more harm than good. Now, if we truly use effort in the correct way, then very spontaneously we can have many marvelous states, but we don't want to seek them. We don't meditate with the purpose of accomplishing these things in front of us. Even if we do open up psychic powers or have their use, we shouldn't see them as a be-all and end-all. These are not the purpose of meditation. We don't need to seek for great wisdom. Great wisdom manifests spontaneously from our own enlightened nature, from our own self-nature. Not only psychic powers, but the wisdom that understands all things of creation, all the different myriad facets of reality, flow forth from our enlightened self-nature. Our own nature manifests these things without extra effort of thinking about it or seeking them. So, the Dharma door of Chan, if we wanted to talk about it in its entirety, we could talk till the end of future time and we'd never come to an end. So today I've had the opportunity to share these few brief words with you about the topic of Chan meditation.
希望各位好自为之，勇猛精进，发大菩提心，成长大。
My wish is for you that each and every one of you do a very good job in your meditation, that you be courageous and vigorous and don't get lax. Please, all of you, bring forth the great Bodhi resolve and quickly accomplish the great way of Buddhahood.
你如果愿意到旁的乐园呐、天国啊，我相信都会成功的。
If your wish is to be reborn in heaven or in the Garden of Eden or wherever you choose to go, I hope that you all realize your wish and you get what you want.